Reyes. You know what that sound means. In the paddock, F1 green to cheese. So no race this week. So where else are we going to be on a week off? But the Fantasy Island of Green Toby? Come on. Where the beer flows like wine and the wine flows like beer, and that cannabis, oh yes, my friends, it grows as far as the eyes can see. It's like Iowa corn.
Far as the eyes can see.
Look at it out there. Green and luscious. Take a little whiff. Woo, yeah. That air smells fantastic. We're not walking to the top of the hill. We're just out here just hanging out.
Moseying?
Having a good time. Hitting the bars. Taking a puff. We're caffeinated. We are medicated. It's an In the News special episode.
It is in the news special episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, as always, for all the listener support, all the emails, of course. And we're finally back after like a layoff on the YouTube shorts and stuff, as we promised, and the YouTube updates. So we got those coming, and those are already hit this week. So thank you all for supporting that. And, of course, if you want to hit us up, you can always, in the paddock, USA at gmail.com. Hit us up there. And of course, listener support is always welcome. Those of you, thank you so much, who have gone on. It's if you listen on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts all over the world and listen to us there. We have that monetization button right underneath. You can hit that and support the show and show us a little love. If not, all good, man, because we love bringing you the show every single week. Once again, even in the off week, walking to the top of the hill. And we got some in the news. So not a ton going on, but enough to give you guys a little taste before we head to Baku in only a few days' time. So what you got first?
Here we go. We'll go with the. We usually got a bunch of stories actually, but let's go with Max on his week off. He is at the Nürburgring, racing the Nordschleife, the North Loop of the Nürburgring in a GT3 car. What is your thoughts on that? He had to actually he had to get a license for this. Max Verstappen, the best driver in the world, had to go through a bunch of special licensing craps to be able to race this weekend as well. I think he did that Thursday. Like, how about that? They made him do that. The best damn driver on the planet.
Which is crazy, because when I heard about this, I was flashing back to when he was 16 years old, and he was racing in countries that he didn't even have. He couldn't even drive on the regular roadway with, but was able to race on the closed courses. So, long history here of, drivers having crazy things. And thank goodness everything's licensed. Driving is very dangerous, especially at those insanely high speeds, even on closed tracks. And, yeah, man, regulations and bureaucracy is an important part of what we do, right? Especially in the racing world. So as far as that's concerned, but as far as the actual driving itself, you have that month off basically, and all these drivers, if you watch their social medias or whatever it is, they were all on vacation, man. They were all at the beaches surfing and partying and doing whatever. And now you have 2 races in a row, and then you have a week off, and then you got to go back, and then you got a week off. So we don't even have, what I thought when I looked at the schedule, which was 4 races in 5 weeks. It's not. It's 4 races over 6 weeks. So those weeks off are really, really important. You want to challenge yourself. Guys like Max Verstappen, it's really hard to challenge yourself. What do you got to challenge yourself, man?
24-hour race at the Nordschleife?
What do you got to challenge yourself? And that's a challenge for him. So let's go. And again, any kind of 24-hour race, the bureaucracy is there and the licensing and everything like that to race. So super, super important as far as
I know
that's
he's not
concerned.
out.
Not to be a
He's not
wet
out at the
blanket,
islands
put
or
a
on the
damper
beaches.
on, just jumping
His
in
week
whatever
off, he's at the
rocket
track.
car you want. Jump in whatever rocket car you want, whenever you want, and racing it around the track. It's all good times. But, yeah. Max is the king, though. So, but everyone's got to follow the rules.
I'm not going to the beach. I'm going to the track on my week off.
No, I think it's important, and I think Max winning and
Well, I think it also goes to. I think this might be the future. Once he leaves Formula One, I think he has like partial ownership maybe in this deal as well. So that's probably where he's going after. He's probably going to do those endurance things or whatever. So we'll see.
He's also a brand name. He's also a brand. People who don't even know about Formula One know Max Verstappen. It's like Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. That's the modern day, I would say, since Schumi. That was probably the two guys that transcend the sport and are followed by a lot of people who will follow them wherever they go, right? So Lewis Hamilton shows up at, Paris Fashion Week, and people show up for Lewis Hamilton in a non-racing environment. So think about if, like, he went to, or someone else went to, like a Max going to any kind of other racing sport, he's going to have his own fans that go with him. I don't think he's going to be showing up in some kind of like long draping velvet flowy suit, high fashion, which I don't understand, but that is not for me to understand. Maybe you, sir, are into the more of the high fashion world.
No.
But this is beyond my comprehension. So I don't think Max
Verstappen
Verstappen's one of those.
Definitely not.
But fans show up of the race car driver versus fans of Formula One. And it's so widespread now that you have fans of Max Verstappen that may not be Formula One fans. Faux show.
Right. Moving on. Colton Herta. You know him, the IndyCar driver who's now the test driver for Cadillac as well. He's leaving IndyCar. He's going to be driving F2. To pursue his dream to be a Formula One driver. They get those super license points. And to prove that he can survive in Europe. What is your thoughts on that? That's a bold move.
It's such a bold move. You gotta love it, dude. Because for those of you who don't know IndyCar, Colton Herta, I believe, is the highest paid IndyCar driver, making about $7 million US a year. So nothing to sneeze at there. So you're talking a guy who's, what's the average salary of a Formula 2 driver? It's probably less than $7 million, significantly so. So he is going to have to change his lifestyle potentially dramatically. I don't know I'm not his financial advisor, but right off the bat, it's a massive financial hit. You're going from $7 million a season to a couple $100,000 a season. Maybe he's got some certain deal worked out sponsorship wise. I'm not sure, and we don't know the details of the deal at this point, but
I don't really think it matters to him, to be honest. He wants to be a Formula One driver.
He's pursuing his dream. You go.
Man.
You go, baby. Yeah. You pursue that dream. So you gotta love the fact that the guy is going out there pursuing his dream, doing what he wants to do. The financials don't matter. I'm sure after racing as many seasons in Indy and making as much money as he has, it's gonna take more than a season in F2 to be able to. But I don't know his history with what he's done on the side with racing Formula One cars. Has he done like an FP?
I think he's tested like McLaren, not on like a race weekend. I think he's been in some team sims and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
I mean,
forget
he's
if
been
he.
involved a little bit, trying to work his way in any way he can in the last few years. But um, this is a big move. It's bold. That's bold. It's a bold move to leave IndyCar for F2 to pursue that dream. But like you
Yeah,
said,
and on the flip side,
you
it's a
gotta
tough
give it up
it's a
to him.
tough
You know
swallow.
what? I'm down for it too. But we need you want the sport to really explode in the states. Let Colton Herta get his way and have an American driver.
It's a tough sell for IndyCar though because they're losing one of their top drivers. So, it's like I don't know, comparable to
Yeah,
Max Verstappen leaving the sport, but it's a top driver in IndyCar that is leaving, and that's a tough one for U.S. IndyCar to handle. So we will see how that plays out, and we'll see if he can make it. Listen, in the end, if this bolsters the IndyCar fans who haven't followed Formula One, and there are a lot of IndyCar fans that don't follow Formula One, and there's a lot of F1 fans that don't follow IndyCar, U.S. based specifically. So with all of that, we'll see how many fans go over into F1 if he can make it there in 2027 or 2028. But it also can bring some eyeballs to F2, which doesn't get a ton of eyeballs on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. And F2 is it's a great sport in itself. It's a great league because of the evenness of all the cars,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the parity versus Formula One, which has less parity. More parity these days. To be honest, much more parity these days than, but
Cost
not
cap is
quite like
working.
F2. Not quite like F2.
No.
Okay, so what else do you have, sir?
Moving on, we got Total War Wolf had some words about Kimi Antonelli. Said this weekend was underwhelming, especially starting where he did, falling back at the 5-second penalty as well for pushing Alex Albon off the track. It was a rough weekend for his home Grand Prix for Kimi. What's your thoughts?
Listen, there's definitely been a bunch of difficult home Grand Prix for a lot of drivers this year. Kimi Antonelli, I think he hit the wall about midway through the season. He hit that rookie wall. It's a tough one. His expectations went from rookie driver, just make it through the season, to winning and being on that leaderboard. And I think the pressure got to him. Either the pressure got to him or the upgrades that Mercedes, brought during the season changed the way the car felt, and he didn't like it as much, or it's just being a rookie. So, the pressure is on.
He's made some bonehead rookie mistakes. The Dutch Grand Prix, not long ago, that was a dumb mistake.
Oh, he's made several dumb mistakes, absolutely, especially in the second half. After making very few mistakes in the first 6 or 7 races this season. So that's, I think, where the parity comes from. If you're going to have issues and mistakes in those it's usually going to be in those first 5 to 8 races of your Formula One career where you're working out the kinks of what you do, right? But as we always say, we always use that classic Ron Dennis line, and welcome to the Piranha Club. And it is. And you get those 8 races and you establish yourself. And everyone was talking about Kimi Antonelli, and it's a boomerang. It's a boomerang. And with that, it just, every branch you climb on the way up
went up quick.
hits you on the ass on the way down. And he's getting hit in the ass right now.
Quick from the start. He had a good start. Expectations went through the roof, and he's going to handle the pressure. That's apparent. But then he's made some, absolutely bonehead rookie moves.
Yeah, he's not what
I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of maybe there's a little.
Stop. He's not following through. What I feel is he's not following through on procedure, right? He thinks he should be one place or two places higher than he's at, so he makes these bold moves because eighth is not good enough. He wants to come in seventh or sixth, and every place counts. Instead of realizing, like a veteran would, which he's not, he's a rookie, which a veteran would at some point, because we always say, like, well, why did Max come in sixth today? He could have definitely come in fifth or fourth. Why didn't he? Well, he didn't have the opportunity, and he realized that, and he stayed in his position, and he finishes the race sixth. And it happens every single week with some veteran driver who you're like, how did they get beat by this guy? You know, how did Nico Hulkenberg finish in front of Lewis Hamilton, several times during the season? And how did Lewis not overtake him over these last 15 laps? Because Lewis knew there was no place to overtake him, and if he did, he could bump him. He could get a time penalty or could crash out. So he accepted the fact that I'm going to finish this race today in sixth or seventh or eighth. Kimi, I believe, doesn't feel that way at the moment. He's looking to get that extra place, and I think it's because of that pressure in the first 7 to 8 races that he set for himself. That's what I want to say about that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just had I had the mojo going there. So
No, you're good. It's is it something from Toto trying to wake him up, or maybe the pressure's on for him to keep the seat at this point? Especially when you got George Russell throwing top fives like every week here. So, I mean, they say, especially when they come out and say we have confidence in him, the public confidence boost usually doesn't end up being a big confidence boost.
Yeah, George Russell has become what we thought George Russell would become when he was with Willie, when he was, this is what we thought he would be, and he finally made it. And it takes a bunch of years. So you give it the same to with Kimi Antonelli, that it could take a bunch of years to be where he needs to be. What is he, 18? 19?
19?
So also got to remember that too. All right, keep it rolling.
Guys have washed out fast too, so it's Formula One. It's the Piranha Club.
Finish up strong here. What do you got? Last story?
Reports, a little bit of insider info is that Ferrari is keeping their eyes close on Oscar Piastri at the moment, possibly a successor to Lewis Hamilton in 27. Thoughts on that?
Thoughts on that is that Oscar Piastri is the hot shit right now, so everyone should have their eyes on him. Why wouldn't you want to bring the most likely champion of 2025, the championship driver, to your team? He's proved it. He's young. And he has, as I mentioned before, what Kimi Antonelli really doesn't have at the moment, he could possess, is that, as he did, just this past week at Monza, just conceded the spot and showed a maturity level of conceding into third. He's conceded before. He's been in a situation as well, not often, but a couple times where he's finished, I believe, fifth, sixth a couple times, and he just had to suck it up and just realize that that's where you're finishing today, and didn't make any bonehead moves, and minimize those drastically. And he's just cool, man. Oscar's just cool customer. He's not looking for the glory. He's not looking for the cameras. It's like very unlike Lando Norris, which I know we haven't mentioned at all on the program yet, but he's not looking for the cameras. He's just looking to drive and win. And he's going to most likely be the champion, the driver's champion for 2025, and put his name in the record book forever and ever and ever. And so, how do you not want that guy?
I absolutely. I mean, he's calm, cool customer. Mature as hell for his age. Does what the team wants. I mean, why would you not want him on your team? That's just it. Plain and simple. Why? Why would you not?
And I'm looking back from
You know?
last year, and something Oscar Piastri said last year, which really surprised me, and now does not surprise me at all. And I believe it was midway through the season when they asked him, like, do you feel you're the number one driver for this team? And or how do you feel
Yeah.
about Lando being the number one driver? Or I forget exactly how it was phrased, but you recall this conversation in this interview,
Hmm.
as we spoke about it several times. But he was like, no, I'm the number one driver. And you're like, ha, like, no, you're not. Like, it's Lando Norris's team. You're just, you should be pretty happy you got a great car and you're going to make a lot of podiums. But this is Lando Norris's team and this is Lando Norris's year. And yet, no. Yeah, that's no.
Yeah.
And Oscar he knew it. And he had that confidence, but it wasn't arrogance. It wasn't
No.
arrogance. It was a level of confidence that surprised me. Because if it was arrogance, that would have made headlines. If it was confidence,
Right.
that kind of like slipped through the night. And it was just, and he just did what he needed to do and keeps doing it. And a lot of people that were rooting for Lando to win in 2025, that this was his year, are now rooting for Oscar to win. And I don't know. I'm loving it, man.
He's a dude, man. He's a dude. He's a dude right now. It's consistent, calm, doesn't get ahead of himself. Is confident. As you pretty much every Formula One driver is confident though anyway, so I mean you have to be to driving that. So
Yeah, many, if not many, a lot more than they should be. But, all right, sir. We're strapping our boots on and hopping on, heading to Baku.
It's right, Baku next week. Can't wait. Always a fun race at Baku.
Always a good
Always a
time,
fun
Baku. Always a good time, and always one of the most interesting tracks. You love Baku, whether it be,
Home to the
the
carpet
back
museum,
straight,
son.
or whether it be
Come on.
through the castle gates, like you're in Game of Thrones, raiding the castle gates. Gotta love Azerbaijan and Baku.
It's a fun track.
They do a phenomenal job every year hosting that race. So hopefully it will be again. Say what you got to say, brother.
See you next week. As always, stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.